Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to revisit an idea I had a few months ago or so, I think that it was, where I talked to you about all my fun adventures in dating. It's terrible, and I don't know, I usually go and vent to all my friends online, so I figured I'd vent in a video. Maybe it'd be kind of entertaining. I'm sourcing all of these experiences off of Bumble, and Tinder. And then I guess if I run into anybody out and about, but it's really not going to happen because everything's closed for the most part. So I'm going to start with Tinder. There was a girl I was talking to. I'm going to use first initials as to refer to these people. So S. We matched, and then I talked to her a little bit later. And I reached out, and I got nothing back. So that was just straight off. She didn't even say anything back. To give you an idea of what I'm saying here, I don't want to I'm not sticking with just hey or something like that, like hey, what's up? That's not so good. So I'll read off some of these, and some of them are probably going to sound a little bit cheesy or whatever, but I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to get some attention, make yourself memorable, and also play to their profile. So this girl, S, can't spell marketing, which is kind of funny. Whatever, not a big deal. I said, hey, S, there's a name I don't see too often. You must be a unique person. A little bit late on the draw here, got a new phone, and you know how that goes. Chaos all over. I got nothing. Fine, that's okay. I got K. K seemed kind of like not quite a hippie, but definitely somebody that was into being past a lot of the BS kind of things. I mean, I'm 34 now, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I said, hey, you seem like, well, I didn't even say hey. I said, you seem like the kind of person with an adventurous soul, or at least one that enjoys dancing, maybe. I got nothing back. M. M is all about nature. And it's one of those profiles where there's different ways to kind of rate these profiles. There's some of my favorites are like, hey, I'm just on here to see what it has to offer. You're the only girl that's ever said that. Definitely. It makes me really want to talk to you. But whatever. They seemed better than just that. It said, I'd rather be in nature, but whatever. And there's no pictures, but they said they could send pictures on the profile. So I said, hey, M, is that short for Mother Nature? Nothing. Some of these are intentionally cheesy to try and get their attention, right? So I got nothing on that. Now I've got N, who the last thing she said to me was yesterday with a one-word answer, which I love. All of her stuff on her profile has to do with food. She's super cute, and, well, not all the stuff, but there's a bunch of stuff. Half of it is all food, and the food looks amazing. So I said, I asked her if she was a foodie. She's like, yeah. And we kind of started talking a little bit. And this is my favorite. Do you have any pictures of your own cooking to back up this claim? Because I said, here's what I said is, if I made something delicious for myself, are you the type to try and grab it off my plate? She said, no, I'll make it even better. And I said, that's a tall claim. Do you have any pictures of your own cooking to back that up? Yes. That's it. Okay, so these aren't too bad. These aren't any horror stories or anything. So moving on, we go into the area of Bumble. And before we get there, I suppose I should say, I'm going to swipe on this girl, but before we get to Bumble, if you're not familiar, Bumble is more, the idea around Bumble is that girls aren't just going to go for one night stands. They're looking for a quality guy and all of that, and they want to take the time, and they're usually, I find, really educated, or at least they list really educated girls more on Bumble, where Tinder, it's like, hey, I'm horny, and let's go for that, and that's kind of how it goes. So on Bumble, actually the same day that I met E, I met a girl named S, different S, and she was pretty excited to talk to me, which was cool. And oh wait, there we go. She was excited to talk to me, and so right off the bat, I think within a couple exchanges there, within an hour, she messaged me and said, hey, we should talk on Snap. And I was like, hey, I'd rather do that because I like talking on Snap better. And if you follow kind of the guidelines of dating off an app, you want to try and get them off the app and onto a different form as soon as you can so that they remember you and all that. So Snap is really good for that. And I got on there, and then within 2 messages, she was already sending me pictures where she definitely did not have a lot on. So I was like, okay, this is cool. That's not really the style that I go for. I kind of like to take my time and get to know girls. It's just kind of the way I am. But whatever, I was talking back and forth to her, and she seemed really eager to want to meet up. So I was like, well, maybe we can meet up next week and whatever. And then I went and hung out with a friend yesterday, so I didn't talk to her again. So because I didn't talk to her I think I met her on Wednesday, and I talked to her on Thursday a little bit, and then I didn't talk to her on Friday, and by Saturday, this morning, or actually last night, yeah, it was last night, she'd already removed me off Snap, but she didn't remove me off Bumble, so I removed her. I don't know. This is a situation, one of the reasons why I don't like instant kind of stuff like that, where it's like, hey, wanna go fuck? Like, yeah, but I don't know who you are, and I'm not a hornball with legs, so I kind of want to know who I'm hanging out with. So it didn't really bother me too much. It was just like, oh, I guess I didn't talk to you for a day. All right, that's fine. Moving on. Then we had a girl I really want to talk to. We'll call her V. I thought we were getting along really well. So this was 3 days ago. So that would have been Friday. Well, I don't know how it counts. If it counts today as a day, but whatever, earlier this week we were talking. And I said, she's from another country. And so I was talking to her, and she was really driving the conversation, which is something that I very, very rarely see, and I really appreciated. And so it made me stop and really think about what I was saying, but it let me be me more. So girls, ladies, yeah. If you want to roll in my Trans Am, no. If you want a good tip on how to get a guy to open up, friggin' drive the conversation a little bit without one word answers or something like that. That helps a lot, at least in my opinion, for me. And so she was doing that, so I was actually like taking a breath and talking to her. I was having a pretty good time. And then I was telling my friend, this is the only person that has thrown me off balance in a conversation in I don't know how long that I can remember. But she was asking me, I think she was looking to try and get married right off the bat, and it's like, well, I don't know that for sure, but whatever. But she wasn't just asking me questions like an interview, she was asking me and then going in depth about it, and she seemed interested. And so this is where it knocked me off balance, was she said, hey, when was the last time you dated somebody or were in a serious relationship? And she spoke like 8 languages, so I was like, hang on, I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that you can speak 8 different languages. And she's like, yeah, I do. And so I went back to, she started asking me a different question, but then I went back to what that question was, and I said, I was honest. I said, it's very hard to find the right fit in a person, that's for sure. My last serious relationship was quite a while ago, and I'm not the kind of guy to settle very easily, I found out. I'd rather put in the work to find the right girl, you know what I mean? And it's stuff like that where you don't, it's so nice because it takes away that idea of, you have 3 seconds to impress me, go. And you get half a sentence out and they're already gone. You actually get, I don't want to say an examination, but you actually get some quality time to talk to each other, which is really nice. And this is where she threw me off. She goes, yeah, I understand what you mean. I feel you. Zach, I know we all try to find the right fit, but sometimes it gets very difficult to find someone like that. And I was just like, whoa, it was like just completely threw me off my guard. Like, holy crap, now it flipped it and it made it sound like I'm like, no, I gotta find the right person only. That's what I said. I'm like, okay, now you make me sound like I'm looking for Miss Perfect, and that's not the case, ha ha ha. I just mean I haven't found someone that's clicked the right way yet. Okay, so we're still going pretty well, having a good time. And then I don't know if it was the difference in culture or whatever, everything was going good until I said, what can I say? I'm a great guy. Because she said, yeah. And she's like, ha ha ha, you're funny. And I said, what can I say? I'm a great guy. And then I was talking about some spicy food. And then it goes to, that's nice. And I'm like, and I like all this. I've eaten all the food around here, all the places around here. And she says, LOL, okay. Instantly off the bat, I know those are killers. Those are flags that the ship has sunk and you're circling around the remains, the bubbles of the ship coming up. All right, fine. So I kind of got a couple more things out of her, and then it looks like now the account was deleted. So maybe she found somebody within 3 days to go marry. I don't know. But that's a thing. So that was weird. And then, let's see. I've got 4 girls on Bumble that I'm talking to. J, N, T, and B. And J and N have responded to me already today. T and B have not responded to me. And let's see about Tinder. N, I am still talking to that I need to respond to. She's the one who just said yes. That was yesterday, so I probably could go on and talk to her again. But that's what my current situation is. I don't know if I talked about my other one that made me... Well, I talked about one of them that kind of inspired me to start this series. And then there was another one after that, which I think I talked about, but for the sake of completeness, I don't know for sure that I talked about this one, so I want to go talk about it. It was this girl who, she lives in a state, or another state, an adjoining state. Maybe a state of madness, according to people that I was talking to about her. But she thought, it might be in another vlog, but anyway, she thought that I had ghosted her right off the bat because I didn't talk to her within a day. And, what was it? I was talking to her, and then we're getting along, and then we made plans to hang out on that Friday, and I think that I made the plans on Wednesday, and then maybe Tuesday, and because I hadn't talked to her in the 2 days between Tuesday and Friday or whatever, she thought that I was a no-show, and so I was like, hey, are we all ready for tonight on Friday? And she's like, oh, no, sorry, I thought you were, or I didn't know you still were interested. And I'm like, I don't talk to you for 2 days and you think that I'm not interested? Like, give me a little bit longer before you think I've ghosted you, you know? But, so that was the case. So she felt really bad. It seemed like she genuinely felt bad about it. So she's like, well, hey, why don't we try next Friday? In my mind, I'm thinking, well, why don't we just go through with it tonight? Because I texted her like at 9 or 10 in the morning and she responded pretty quick, so I knew she was up. And it wasn't like she responded an hour beforehand, because it would have been, we were going to meet in the middle. It would have been like an hour and a half drive or something, or 2 hour drive for us to meet. And we had the place already nailed down and everything, but I assumed she'd already made plans with somebody else, so I didn't push it, and I said fine. So we made plans for the next Friday. And then we were talking, and I think it was one of the Snapchat stories I must have put up or something, because then, what was it? Then the next Friday came and I asked her again, and she didn't say anything. And I should mention, the biggest draw of this story is that she made such a big deal that she thought I was going to ghost her, and how many people ghost her and all of this stuff and don't show up, and she goes to the place and it's a no-show. And then when I talked to her again to try and check for that Friday, which was now next week, she completely ghosted me. And not just ghosted me. She didn't remove me, but I sent her some stuff, just messages to be like, hey, are we still on? I get nothing back. I checked the next day just to make sure, nothing back. And then she finally removed me or whatever. Or I think I know I screenshotted it. That was the main takeaway, is that she was so adamant and so sure that she was going to be ghosted and was so against it. And then she goes and ghosts me, and it's like, all right, well, that seems a little bit hypocritical. It was just such a strange thing because, yeah, like I said, kind of hypocritical. So another one recently was I had matched with a girl and then I got her on Snap. And we were kind of talking a little bit back and forth, but it ended up being more of a, we commented on each other's Snap stories once in a while, and that was kind of it. So I don't necessarily know this is the reason why, but I put up a Snap story where I mean, we were Snap friends for maybe 2 months, I think. It was right before the election, and then this was last month, so maybe around 2 months, 2.5 months. And I keep getting these spam texts on my phone, and they always are like just these horrible, like, get soft pussy now, or whatever, or something like that. So I thought it was funny. And I'm starting to get more to the point where, like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to put up stuff on Snap because I'm going to put up stuff that isn't necessarily curated all the time, because I just want to put up stuff and just be me and have fun, and people who are on my Snap should be the kind of people that are okay with that. So I took a screenshot of this text that showed up, the notification where it was like, it's some just horribly obvious spam thing where it was something softpussy.whatever.com, and I put the I put the text into there of, can I just go one day? It's like, seriously, can I please just go one day without getting offered soft pussy? Come on. And of course, people thought it was funny, whatever. And then I happened to see that I wasn't seeing this girl's story anymore, and I went and looked, and she had unfriended me on that. And it's like, okay. I know she was really politically active, so maybe that didn't jive with her, which that's her own thing. I'm not blaming. It's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. It was just another girl that I'd been talking to that didn't work out. So, and those are all the ones that are real recent that I can think of that are at least worth noting. Most of them, the majority, I know I said something earlier, but the majority of what happens with online dating, at least app dating, is really just ghosting or getting stood up. I got stood up too by a girl when I went to a bar. She was all cool. I was sitting at the bar saying, "Hey, I'm here." And she said, "Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm just getting ready." A little bit later, okay. And then she still never showed up. And I asked her where she was after half an hour, and then I saw that she looked at my Snap, so she knew I was there, but she never unfriended me or unmatched me from Snap, and that was stupid. And so I'm like, all right, I got stood up, but at least I got some good beer. And then I saw her like 3 more times on Tinder or Bumble, whichever, and turned out she's a hot wife or something too, which I didn't know about. So I don't know if it's a real profile. I think it actually is a real profile, but I think she's just really sketchy with her stuff, and I don't know. So there you go. That's the week in review for Zach's love life, lack thereof, for February 27th, Saturday. I was looking to make these more on Sunday because Saturdays are good date nights, but nobody's going to dates anytime soon. Oh, there was another girl, that I thought I was getting along with pretty well too. We had a couple virtual dates, and then she just ghosted me out of the blue too. And I get it. I don't blame anybody for ghosting anymore, but I think she was a teacher. Oh, and there's another girl that I went and drove around with a couple times, just to drive around at least once. We were talking, and then she just ghosted me out of the blue too. It's like it's like a meter, and the bar always wants to go down. You got to keep pumping it up to keep their interest. It's ridiculous. It works it's the same for guys too. Like, they got to keep my interest too. But I'm already running past my sign off. See ya.